Hi guys, this is Mohana and I'm here to talk to you guys about an issue that I have personally faced for the better part of 2021. I had a huge acne outburst in June that stayed with me for much longer than I had hoped, and I got out of it somehow, and I have a few tricks that I can share with you guys for anyone out there that's facing a similar problem. First of all, the biggest thing about acne is it can affect you mentally much more than it can affect you physically. And definitely, when you look in the mirror and you see your skin that's suddenly covered with red spots or pustules or acne that wasn't there before, it can definitely hurt your self-confidence, and I have faced that. And it was very difficult for me to shoot also in these times, and you guys can see in a couple of videos there are full acne flare-ups, and I have literally like taken a break from shooting, cried a little bit, come back, and you're not alone. It affects everyone, and if you feel this way, it's completely natural. So once we have that out of the way, let me start telling you guys how I actually tackled this. So the very first thing that I did was I checked what all products am I using. Is there something in there that may be triggering this? So there was this glycolic acid serum, which I think I was using it too often, and that was making my skin very sensitive and kind of prone to more redness and rashes, it just wasn't too good to use it too frequently. So that was the first thing that I cut out. And I also tried to do a skin fast. Basically, I didn't apply any actives, no glycolic acid, definitely no vitamin C, no heavy moisturizers. I was only just washing my face and using SPF for about a week, and I still didn't see any improvement, and it can be disheartening for sure, but I carried on and I started looking for other options. So at this point, I felt the need to consult a dermat, and I went for my consultation, and I figured out there has been a hormonal reason to this acne, and if your periods are irregular, or if you're suffering with PCOS or PCOD, you can also get acne because of this, that hormonal acne. So that was the kind I was having. So she prescribed me medicine, isotretinoin. If anyone out there has like chronic acne and you've been to a dermat for this, you might be familiar with this medicine, and you must be familiar with its side effects as well. So Nikita from work, our set designer and art director, she was also on this, and she told me that it'll kind of have an effect on my emotional state, and like my skin will get super dry. So for this 1 month, I was quite emotional, and it not only affected me but people I work with around at work as well, and that's what happened. But I feel this medicine worked out for me because I think it got the hormonal aspect in control, and newer acne were not popping up as much. So next, I took a look at my skincare, and I kind of took out everything that wasn't essential, and I'll share with you guys now what is my current skincare routine that has helped me out a lot. First things first, you need a really good cleanser that's going to take care of your pores and the clogged dirt in them. So I started using this Sebamed cleansing foam cleanser, and this has been really good for taking care of all the excess dirt and impurities. And since this is a foam cleanser, this is really good for oily skin. But if you have dry skin, you can also go for the Cetaphil cream-based cleanser. So this is the cleanser, and now the famous toner that was recommended to me. So this is the O3 Deep Concerns Pore Cleanser. As you can see, I've been using it religiously all this month, and it's almost over. And this is really good for taking care of the dirt that you don't even know is left behind after washing your face with cleanser. When I use my cotton pad with this and I check the cotton pad afterwards, I'm surprised at how much dirt there still is that I didn't even know about. So here's the O3 toner. Next is one staple in my skincare routine. This is currently my 6th tub of this moisturizer. It's the Body Shop Vitamin C Moisturizer. I absolutely love this for taking care of the marks that acne leave behind. As you guys can see here, I have a lot of fresh marks to deal with. And when you are dealing with these kind of fresh acne marks, it's better to start the healing process as early as possible before they turn into brown hyperpigmentation marks. So this is really good for that. And there's also this minimalist serum. Any niacinamide serum really is good for kind of taking care of the excess oil. It really helps in balancing your skin's oil, and it also helped me with dark spots left behind with acne. So I use this not daily but a few times in the week. This is not an essential product that you absolutely need. And finally, this is an essential product that you absolutely need, is sunscreen. I have seen my marks darkening because of sun exposure and not using sunscreen. So now I am super vigilant about this, and I apply sunscreen every day, even if I'm indoors. For me, this works out really well, and it prevents the marks that are already there from darkening even further. So I would definitely recommend you to use a sunscreen if you're dealing with pigmentation and post-acne marks. And there's one more spot treatment that I was using, and I'll tell you guys how this works for me. This is Super Spotless by Glamrs, and basically for my pustules that kept popping up, I used Super Spotless on them. And for me, Super Spotless works in a 3-day period. The first day when I apply it, the mark is a red bump and it starts getting a white top to it, and it turns into a pustule. The next day I apply Super Spotless, the pustule kind of like the pus in it sort of recedes in a way, or this is one thing that happens, or it pops on its own without me having to poke. And I'm sure you guys know, you guys have done this before, but I don't need to do this with Super Spotless. And on the last day, the pus has kind of leaked out in my sleep because I used this overnight, and there's just like a reddish spot. That's the healing process of it. So that's how this works for me. And for those acne marks that popped, for those acne spots that popped up constantly, Super Spotless was by my side through it all. So I think a spot treatment is also an essential if you're dealing with constantly reoccurring acne. So these were all of my products that I've been using, and right now I also made a big diet change. You guys know I love snacks and lot of junk food, and there's a very important junk food that I cut out of my life. I reduced dairy a lot, and I've almost completely stopped having cheese, and this made a huge difference. Right now, if you guys can come in closer and check out my skin, there are marks, definitely there are, but there isn't any active acne, and my skin hasn't been like this since I think the beginning of this year. So I am very happy with these results. And same goes for you. If you're trying to make changes to your skin and your lifestyle, check out what works for you. I also tried and failed, not having sugar for a week, and these are kind of the things that trigger acne: sugar, a lot of fried foods, cheese. So try out in 1 week intervals what is working out for you, and that's the way you will get a clearer picture of what is going to help your skin get clear, and this will set you on your recovery journey. So that was my take on sudden and very emotional acne and how I dealt with it in this year. And I'll update you guys on my marks recovery process as well. So thank you for hanging out with me today and finding all about the acne journey.